We're here at the Chinese Grand Prix. Welcome along to round number 4 of the UDL Formula 1 World Championship here at the Shanghai International Circuit. Joined today again by Jonathan Ledoux in the commentary booth. Great to have you back alongside me as we get ready for the start of short qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. 18 minutes of non-stop action in qualifying. Drivers allowed to set as many lap times as they want to get the best time on the board. The challenge for pole position here at Shanghai. One of the oldest tracks on the current 21st century of Formula 1, designed by Hermann Tilke, the official Formula 1 track architect, and one of the best racetracks on the calendar, always creating exciting racing both on track in the game and also in real life. As let's get ready for the start. The Chinese Grand Prix unfortunately canceled this season in real world, but we're here nonetheless to take it on in the virtual world. And here we go, 5 seconds until session start. Jonathan, great to have you back. Let's talk about the Shanghai International Circuit, introduced many years ago in Formula 1. What do drivers have to do to navigate this very challenging yet fun circuit?
Well, it's great to be back. This circuit is very technical, especially at the beginning. Very hard braking zone towards the hairpin after an extremely long sweeping corner, and then onto some faster bends, and towards the end you definitely need a lot of straight line speed because it has some of the longest straights on the calendar. So really a lot of range as far as what you can do with your setup to really be fast here.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Let's get ready. We're just loading up into the lobby now. We have pretty much a full grid on us. I believe 19 drivers on the grid, possibly 20 as we get ready for short qualifying. Again, if you're not familiar with the rules of short qualifying, it's 18 minutes. It's the length of a Q1 session. Drivers allowed to set as many lap times as they want to get the best time on the board. And it is going to be 19 drivers on the grid today. As Shawsome currently on the first spot, we have Publix Korab, Sniper Pig, X Breezy, Drew U24, the Imperial 757, Dilsack, Ripper Rick, Easy Hurricane F1, Dreamsy, Hellmade 7, I Got a Big Rig, W11, that's Bossman, Kill the Birdman, Pecan 36, Dilgaff, 38083, Honos, a few 97s, and Speed King 91 is in 19th. As we see a driver who has come out, I do believe that looked to be one of, I thought it was an AlphaTauri. No, it is actually a Williams of Drew U24 as he heads into the long sweeping first turn of the Chinese Grand Prix, one of my favorite turns on the entire F1 calendar. And Jonathan, let's get ready for short qualifying action. What do you expect to see here? Any drivers of note to watch for as we get ready to see who can claim pole position here in Shanghai?
Well, so Breezy and Snipper Pig always seem to have very good qualifying pace, no matter where they are. But I have to say, Publix last race really showed great pace in qualifying and really very surprising towards the middle there. He did get knocked down a little further towards the end of qualifying, but I think he might be able to pull out some good pace here.
As actually Publix just overtakes the Williams of Drew U. Now onto a straight before the long back end DRS straight, that little uphill chicane.
Interesting problem. Breezy and Drew U are on wet tires.
They are. Not too sure what that's for. Unless that's a graphical glitch on our end. I don't see the car.
They seem very loose.
Yeah, I have no idea why they're on. And Drew U's also on wets. Any other drivers on wets to speak of? Publix is on mediums. Shawsome's also on mediums.
Definitely just Breezy and Drew U, but very strange.
There are a few other drivers electing to go on the soft compound tire. Probably not the tire you actually want to qualifying on with your best time, considering the extreme tire wear around Shanghai. As Publix has begun a lap of the Shanghai International Circuit, going around that sweeping right-hand turn before going into the downhill chicane, ending Sector 1. as he comes sweeping around the turn. Now coming to the end of Sector 1, that little chicane, braking at just about the 100-meter board, and it's, of course, going to be beaten very quickly by the driver behind him, who I believe is actually, it's a Renault that's behind him right now. I believe they're on an outlap. Actually, there's a yellow flag somewhere. That looks to be a McLaren, and that might have been Honos 97. Sorry, we have to say Korab. I said Korab throughout the entire broadcast last time. It is Korab or Korab, or whatever you want to call him. Nonetheless, that is the name of the other McLaren driver, Honos 97, right there in the other one. In number 91, as we're finally able to get some real driver numbers on the cars in a recent update on the game. So good to see that. A little bit of personalization as Publix is streaming down the DRS straight. As let's right on board of him right there. And let's get the telemetry up so you can see just how fast he's going as he heads down into the braking zone. 207 miles per hour before he hits the apex of the hairpin. And now coming into the final turn, a nice little quick left-hand turn as he just hits the apex there, stays off of the exit curb, which you can run too wide and possibly invalidate. It's going to be a 130.9, and we can definitely see some faster times there for sure. Let's see if there's any other drivers.
He's in benchmark, though.
Dilsack is on an invalidated lap. Ripper Rick is on a lap right now in the Renault. Easy Hurricane on an invalidated lap as well. Dreamsy comes across the line, and Dreamsy has had a fastest third sector. Has gone second fastest, though. That's a 135.0, and that's definitely not indicative of a time for pole position or even really a time at all, as he goes far wide off track to let some drivers by. Shawsom's going to come across the line with an invalidated time. So unfortunately not going to be able to get onto the leaderboard. So only two drivers right now with valid times, as we see Korab there coming through towards now. It's going to be a long sweeping left-hand turn. Let's see if he gets it right. Looks to be a little cautious through the turn, actually, as he had to lift off a little bit. The car is a little squabbly, as I found out, as Ripper Rick has gone fastest on track at 130.3, and that's about 6/10 clear of Publix in second position. So Ripper Rick currently on provisional pole position. 12 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in this session, as only 4 drivers with times on the board right now. Korab, though, is still on a valid lap, currently about to get onto the back straight. And you can see a driver ahead of. Oh, was that that was a hit from the back of one of the Haas cars? I'm not who was that, Pecan, or that was I got a big rig, I think. Yeah, I got a big rig. Must be the driver that hit him from the back. But nonetheless, that was interesting from Korab. Got spun around by one of the Haas cars. Did you see what happened there, Jonathan?
Yeah, that was definitely some big contact to be able to upset the car that much exiting that corner. Very high downforce corner. That might be looked at by the stewards later.
I got a big rig did go second fastest. He does have front wing damage. One of the end plates is off the car, so we definitely know that he caused the incident there in terms of the damage, as Pecan has gone into the pit lane. The other Haas driver not setting a time. Bossman W11 is on a hot lap. Has not set a time. See if he can get onto the leaderboard. Snipper Pig has gone.
He is coming into the final corner now.
Speed King has gone second fastest, 130.6. Still 3/10 back from Ripper Rick. Comes across the line. Snipper Pig only fifth with a 130.9, almost into the 131. So definitely wants to get a little faster. But both AlphaTauris are fourth and fifth on the grid respectively. So not too shabby for them nonetheless. As Shawsum, and Shawsum spins out, and that could be a DNF. No, just saves the car on the wall right there. That could have been a serious accident for the Racing Point driver, but nonetheless saves it as he's going to come off the gravel trap. And that was one of those sweeping turns, and I believe that was actually the turn I was talking about. That left-hand turn, very easy to lose the back end of the car, and Shawsum happened to be a driver who's done so. And thankfully, though, going to keep the car alive, and just actually no front wing damage at all. So maybe the tire is just a little bit cooked, but that was very scary for Shawsum.
Very good save, though, to not get any front wing damage.
X-Breeze, he's about to come across the line and start a lap in the other Racing Point. in 11th position. Breezy looking to get into the top 10, even the top 5 today here in Shanghai as he's coming through the first turn. Looking pretty good on the racing line, keeping it back tucked in and then making a quick turn of direction. Back on the power, a little bit of wheel spin trouble, but nonetheless, Breezy turns the car around and now coming towards the end of Sector 1. Let's actually see that as he goes fastest in the first sector, so looking good so far. Let's get the telemetry off and let's get the lap data on for you so you can see exactly what's happening for the drivers as he's coming around the sweeping turn. Looking good. The car pretty much planted on the track as very nice on the curbs. Being very smooth with the Racing Point car, of course, dubbed the Pink Mercedes this season, but nonetheless, Breezy driving, and like it's a Silver Arrow from last year, as Breezy is fastest in the second sector. So Breezy right now, as you were telling me, Jonathan, on the charge right now for pole position here in Shanghai, fastest in the first 2 sectors. A little bit of trouble coming around, and almost lost the back end, and then it's going to lose the back end, and he's going to go into the wall. And thankfully for Breezy, just like it wasn't for Shawsome, he has saved the car and will stay in qualifying. That could have been a nasty accident for him as he swings the car back on track. But nonetheless, Breezy almost death-defying right there as he just escapes DNFing out of the qualifying session. There's with 9 minutes left to go.
Breezy will not be happy about that. He was on charge for a pole position run.
And not too sure why I'm getting all of these onboard camera angles that's not on board. I'm not trying to get on board. A Snipper Pig right there is on a lap right now. It's currently sitting 5th with a 130.9, but you know Snipper Pig would like to go a little bit faster than that as he's coming around that sweeping banked turn before that long back straight with the DRS flap opens. That increases the miles per hour. The drag decreases. The miles per hour increases by about 10 to 12 miles per hour depending on your setup. Braking, missing the apex just a little bit, but not too bad now. About to come into the final turn. Would like to clip the apex just a little bit and does so. Doesn't run too wide. Oh, just actually on the limit right there. He's going to come across the line. The Snipper Pig is going to go P3, so an improvement by about 0.3 of a second. And Snipper Pig into the top 3. Ahead of him is Speed King 91, and on provisional pole position, still by about 0.3 of a second, is Ripper Rick in the Renault.
Econ looking to make a first lap here, coming into the final corner now. Right on the limit of what he can do.
And P8.
P8.
Not too bad from the Haas driver. He gets on the board. He is a little bit further adrift from his teammate. I got a big rig with a 130.8. That's put him P4 on the grid. That's splitting the AlphaTauris. But nonetheless, Pecan puts in a pretty impressive time. That's going to put him inside the top 10 with about 7 minutes left to go in the session. So the Haas driver looking good right now to get in a decent position for the start of the race. As Korab is back on that DRS straight where he was hit off by I Got a Big Rig, and hopefully is going to be able to set an actual lap time here as he's trundling down the DRS straight. The DRS flap opens and then closes quite quickly as he breaks into the hairpin, hits the apex rather beautifully right there. And now coming into the final turn, there's yellow flags being waved. It looks like there's an issue for one of the Ferraris, it looks like, or the two Ferraris right near each other actually, as he's going to across the line and do P8, so not bad by him at all. I'm going to ride on board with Imperial here. Where are the Ferraris? And they're right near each other. Dilgaff just behind Imperial. I don't know if there was a scuffle between them, but nonetheless, here we go. Dilgaff getting a little bit of slipstream. And you don't really want to be racing your teammate on the qualifying runs. And there's another yellow flag. And I don't know if somebody... Nope, maybe I think somebody might have just been trying to slow up a little bit. But nonetheless, Dilgaff getting major slipstream off of his teammate, who in fact decides to abort the lap and going to let his teammate by unless he wants to get slipstream of his own. He is going to get back into the slot of the slipstream. Both drivers have DRS open, and a look on the inside by Imperial, and the Scuderia Ferrari boys are not looking too nice of each other. 5-place grid penalty for Shawsome, a collision with Speed King 91. Now, again, we do have to remind you that this is a custom grid that should be set after this, so he will get another lobby up, but nonetheless, there's a 5-place grid penalty, and I'm assuming that's going to be, rewarded again, regardless, in the custom grid order.
Speed King was actually off the track on the back straight.
Is he going to come into the pits? There is no damage on the car. He cuts the track a little bit, almost hit the wall actually coming into the pit lane. Dilgaff, both Ferraris. Dilgaff's actually P2 on the grid, while Imperial is 16th and is invalidated. So the Ferraris just a little bit too close for comfort, boys. I think you have to separate yourselves a little bit, get one of you separated, and then try to get a lap in, because it's not working right now being so close.
One thing I've noticed, it's very surprising to see Dreamsy so far down the grid. He really needs to get a lap in to put himself a little higher after his performance last week. He'll be very disappointed if he starts P13.
Imperial just coming up behind his teammate, then overtakes his teammate, so that's good to see. Dilgaff, second place, though, for the Ferrari boys, but Imperial would like to get a little further ahead. Does he have... I don't know how he is on fuel, but he is letting by some teammates. Is he trying to let by his teammate again in the Ferrari? This is really just a kerfuffle by the Ferrari drivers, just really not doing well here, as Easy Hurricane F1 has not yet set a time, but is looking to do so on this occasion. Only 4 minutes left to go in the session, and Easy Hurricane F1 is not a man with a time on the board right now. Bossman W11 also does not have a time, and Honos in the other McLaren also without a time. Other drivers without times is Imperial, who in fact... Oh, now the Ferraris are double stacking in the pit lane.
Honos actually about to complete his first lap, coming into the final corner now.
And here we go. Let's see what the time's going to be from Honos. Comes across the line. P7, a respectable P7, puts him ahead of his teammate Korab, who's currently P10 on an outlap right now, who's looking to get a little bit further up the grid. He splits the Mercedes of Dilsack and Publix and goes onto the grass there, possibly letting by some drivers. Not too sure. Maybe just went a little wide. But nonetheless, Honos puts a P7 on the grid.
Easy Hurricane puts a P12 time of 1:31.918.
X Breezy is back on track. Remember, he had an off in the final. Oh, is he aborted? So I think he aborted the previous lap. He's going to go for another one. But X Breezy, remember, the last time we saw him was going fastest on track, had a moment in the final turn, and almost crashed into the wall, which he would have been fuming over. Thankfully, he just kept it alive, and he's able to go for another lap here on a brand new set of soft compound tires. If we bring up the tire graphic here, let's see what the details is. So the fastest laps are on the soft compound tire, looks like. And we have a few medium runners, but most drivers trying to go on the soft tires. X Breezy gets a 1:36.1 to start, but I think he's going to be going for another quick lap again, looking to get a lot further up than 17th on the grid, only ahead of Shawsome and Imperial, who, I might add, do not have lap times on the board. 2 minutes left to go in the session, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the closing stages here. Ripper Rick still in provisional pole position by 0.3 of a second, so an amazing first lap from the Renault driver, and he has been on a charge without actually being on a charge. Just quickly put it on pole, and hopefully, at least for him, he stays on pole position. But he still has some very talented drivers trying to set some better times, and Big Rig, forget about that. That's a 1:29.7, and that is provisional pole position by the Haas driver. What a blistering lap time from him. X Breezy is still trying to set a quicker lap time. Let's see if he can do so, as he's going to come onto the DRS straight now. The DRS flap is going to open, and the DRS flap is going to increase the miles per hour by 10 to 12 miles per hour. Let's see X Breezy coming into the hairpin. Let's see how he hits this apex. Hits it pretty nicely. Racing Point coming around, and then we have, looks like Ripper Rick. Somebody went a little bit quicker, it looked like. Nonetheless, here comes X Breezy across the line, and it's going to be P3, and Dilgaff goes down to 4th, but X Breezy puts it into the top 3, a pretty nice lap of a 1:30.3, and Ripper Rick now is looking a lot more vulnerable than he did before, as with 30 seconds left to go in the session, a few drivers on outlaps and will be starting their laps.
Ripper Rick, very impressive since
Fastest
his debut.
fastest second sector for Ripper Rick, actually.
Very impressive since his debut last season. He's gone on to get a few wins and very fast in qualifying.
As he heads down the DRS straight, there's the line. There opens the flap. And let's see what he can do. The Renault DP World on the rear wing right there as he closes the rear wing, breaks into the hairpin. Nicely on there. Has one more sector to navigate. Somebody's spinning on track. Somebody crashed. It looks to be a Mercedes. Was that Bossman? I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, Ripper Rick's going to come across the line. And it's going to be pole position again. 129.6, and that's pole position by about 0.03 of a second. What a lap time by Ripper Rick, and steals it again from Big Rig. I didn't think that was possible with that 129 time. What a lap. Dilgaff is fastest in the second sector, so Dilgaff is still on a charge. He's got his teammate ahead of him, by the way, who on the DRS straight will give him some slipstream, so this could be a crucial moment for Dilgaff looking to get on pole position. He's got Imperial ahead of him who hasn't set a lap time, looking to get on pole position, looking to get on pole, maybe even a little further up. Let's see what he can do. Nonetheless, we have somebody, it looks like somebody went a little bit faster, and it is Speed King who goes third fastest. Dilgaff down the fifth. Here comes Dilgaff to come across the line. Third fastest for Dilgaff. Speed King down to fourth. And I don't believe there's anybody who can challenge right now for pole position. We have Snipper Pig, who is on a lap right now. Let's see. And he's going to come into the final turn. Let's see what Snipper Pig can do. Comes across the line and will finish only in P8. Pole position is going to go to Ripper Rick in the Renault. And what a final few minutes of qualifying that brought us.
Incredible. It's interesting to see. The normal front runners are in the 7th through 12th range, whereas some of the newer guys are moved up into the top 4.
What scenes here in qualifying, ladies and gentlemen? What scenes? 1 minute left to go. Jonathan, give us your reactions totally throughout the session. Some surprises. What about some disappointments? Talk us through that.
The disappointments, definitely the incident with, who was that? Big Rig and Korab. That was definitely a big disappointment and something that might have to be looked at, which is, disappointing to see. But big surprise, Ripper Rick getting on pole. Very, very impressive. Great pace through the last lap there, especially after the Big Rig got the pole position right before him, and that must have just lit a fire under him and said, I need this.
So that is qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go into another lobby and set up the custom grid order. There is one 5-place grid penalty. Again, do you remember, Jonathan, who got it?
Big Rig. No,
So,
actually, no. Shawsome.
Sawstrom. So Shawsome will have a 5-place grid penalty as well, given out by the game. So that is unfortunate for him. Shawsome down in 12th, so he's going to start a little bit further back than that.
Speed King as well.
Speed King. So Speed King got a penalty as well. So here we go, grid order at the moment. It's going to be Ripper Rick, Big Rig, Dilgaff, Speed King as a penalty, X Breezy, Kill the Birdman, Pecan, Snipper Pig, Dreamsy, Publix, Honos, Shawsome, Dilsack. Shawsome has a penalty. Dilsack, Korab, Hellmade, Easy Hurricane F1, Drew U24, Imperial 757. The Bossman W11 does have a grid place penalty, but did finish last. So obviously not going to go any further than 19th. So should be happy with that. And let's get ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to bring up the next lobby, and then we will get the custom grid order set up, and then we'll get into the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. If you're watching us, this is the United Drivers League. My name is ISRLX. You're joined by Jonathan Ledoux in the commentary booth, and you're watching live coverage of the United Drivers League Formula One World Championship. It's round number 4 for the Chinese Grand Prix at the Shanghai International Circuit, and it's Ripper Rick who's on pole position here today in the race. We're about to get into the next lobby to put on the custom grid and then get into the race. And if you're enjoying the United Drivers League, make sure to hit subscribe on and put the notification bell to never miss a video from the United Drivers League. And make sure to make all the races. We have an amazing league here. Some really awesome drivers who care a lot about league racing. And if you're interested in joining, make sure to contact either probably Pecan if you'd like to join the United Drivers League. Always looking for good talent to join the ranks. Nonetheless, let's get ready, ladies and gentlemen. We're just waiting for I'm waiting for an invite for the next lobby that will be made.
Yeah, same. But yeah, this is looking to be a very good race. A battle the entire race between Big Rig and Ripper Rick. Those two very close in qualifying times.
Now, I don't know if this is possible, but with the incident with Korab and with Big Rig, sorry, is that something that can be looked at mid-session and possibly given a grid place penalty? I don't know if there's enough onboard footage to look at that. I don't know if we're going to wait for that.
No, that will be reviewed after the race, and race if it's determined.
Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're just waiting for the next session. To get underway. Let's see. Still waiting for an invite, so we haven't gotten the whole grid set up yet, apparently. But Jonathan, a pretty exciting qualifying, getting ready for the Chinese Grand Prix, heading into the race. What do drivers need to do to maximize pace throughout the race? And what are the locations for you, in your opinion, to be making overtakes?
So, my biggest thing whenever driving at China is I treat it like an endurance race due to the fact that that first corner is...
I did get a notification. I don't know if you got it.
But it is very brutal on tires, and you need to conserve grip for the end of your stint. As far as overtaking opportunities, really any hard braking zone is great for overtaking, as well as the final part of the first corner complex in that hairpin. I've seen a couple of drivers in previous seasons go around the outside in that braking zone and really get a good run to make a pass out of that corner. That's about the only different breaker passing opportunity, but there are quite a few here, especially having those long straights, into the hairpin. You can get a great opportunity after DRS. So
we'll have to wait and see.
People should have no problems getting passes done.
Well, we're about to get ready here, ladies and gentlemen. 50% race distance. We're just setting up the custom grid order. We have only 17 drivers in the lobby at the moment, so we might just be waiting for everybody to get in. But here we go, guys. This is the Chinese Grand Prix, round number 4. And we had a great race in Hanoi, an absolutely amazing race. One of my favorite races to ever commentate on, and I'm assuming we're going to have much of the same here in Shanghai, given the level of talent and the level of passion that the drivers have on the grid.
We should actually go over the results of the Vietnamese Grand Prix last week. So your winner was Snipperpig 007, followed by Honos, and then Dreamzy with a 3-second time penalty. Korab came in 4th place, Speed King 91 in 5th, Easy Hurricane with another 3-second time penalty in 6th. 7th is Expreezy, 8th Pecan, 9 Dilgaff, 10, Dillsack. 11, killed the Birdman with a 5-second time penalty. 12th, Bossman. 13th, Helmade. 14th, Publix. 15th, Ripper Rick. Imperial, 16th. 17th, Drew U. And Bryce, rounding out the grid at 18th.
So that's your results from the last race. I think we have everybody in. Just about. Just waiting for the start of the session to begin, and then we should be getting underway with some good racing here in Shanghai.
Yep, while everybody is readying up, I'll go over through the driver's standings in the championship. Dreamsy is currently in first with 52 points, followed by Snipper Pig with 51. Honos in third with 49. Publix in fourth with 24. Easy Hurricane in fifth with 22. Ripper Rick in sixth with 18. I Got a Big Rig in seventh with 16. Actually, 7th, 8th, and 9th are all in a tie with 16 of I Got a Big Rig, Pecan, and Korab. Shawsome in 10th with 10 points. Helmade as well, and Speed King all with 10 points. X Breezy with 6 points in 13th. DOE Bryce and Dilgaff both in 14th and 15th with 2 points, and 16th is Dillstack with 2 points. And then the Constructors Championship is Alpha Churi in first with 75 points. Second is
whoa. Alpha Churi?
Yes, Alpha Churi is in first place.
Alpha Churi!
Yes.
Do you want to say it correctly?
Oh, sorry, Alpha Churi.
No. Say it correctly.
What am I saying wrong?
It's not Churi. Where's the
Churi.
Where's the CH? Churi.
Churi.
Alpha Tari.
Oh, sorry.
Alpha Turi. You know who says Alpha Turi? People who spend $94 on the Project Cars 3 Deluxe Edition. Those are the kind of people who say Alpha Turi.
Okay. Well, moving on. Alfa Romeo in a close second with 74 points. McLaren in third place with 65, followed by Haas in fourth with 32, Renault in fifth with 20, Racing Point in sixth with 16, seventh is Ferrari with 12, eighth Red Bull with 10, and then the Black Arrows this year of Mercedes with 2, rounding out the grid.
Who calls it the Black Arrows?
They're not, but they're not silver, so.
So, don't try to make a thing. This ain't a thing.
I didn't say it was a thing.
You're like one of those people who watched Key and Peele and saw, we're not going to say it on stream, on the chain wax, and said, I'm going to make a thing too, and you're going to call them the Black Arrows. That's not a thing.
I didn't mean to try and make a thing.
Stop trying to make a thing. We understand, Jonathan. We understand. You're trying to redeem yourself from your
Roy, it's
purpose.
nice to have you in.
Roy? Who's Roy?
Someone in the chat.
Oh,
Roy,
Roy.
it's nice to see you.
Leroy Jenkins? You ever seen Leroy Jenkins?
Yes.
Oh, you probably haven't. Play ESO. You wouldn't know that. Have you ever played any World of Warcraft?
I have not,
You've
but
not.
I know. I know of World of Warcraft.
You know of World of Warcraft. At least
Yeah.
at least he knows of World of Warcraft.
Like,
at least he knows of the most.
I have seen
one of the most
I
popular
have
MMOs.
seen gameplay. I have
Oh,
not
you've
played it
seen
myself.
gameplay. Wow, who hasn't seen gameplay of World of Warcraft? Jonathan,
I am sorry I've offended you.
you haven't offended me. I'm just getting worried for you, my guy. This isn't good.
it is as good
Nonetheless,
as it's going
ladies
to
and gentlemen, thank the Lords, we are finally getting into the race, so we can stop talking about number 94 over here, and let's get ready for the Chinese Grand Prix. Jonathan, 94. What's your reactions? What do you think's going to happen? Any big moments?
I really think Ripper Rick is going to pull out a decent lead here and get the win.
All right, so he goes with the man who got pole position, possibly the most boring prediction ever. So, anyway, good for you, Jonathan. We're trying not to berate him too much here, ladies and gentlemen. We are just trying to pass the time here. And if you enjoy all this banter, you can continue to listen to me because I have signed on for a few more races, Jonathan, so you're stuck with me.
Okay, sounds good.
We're going to make a crew.
All right.
This is going to be the biggest duo in sim racing.
I'm looking forward to it.
No, you're not. I can hear it in your voice. Anyway, we're here at the Shanghai International Circuit, round number 4. The Chinese Grand Prix is about to get underway. The custom grid order has been set up. Let's get ready.
All right. If last week is anything to go by, then this week we'll have an incredible race here at China.
I mean, it's kind of hard to go by when the races are completely different, but, I understand what you're saying.
We have the same drivers.
Is it the same track?
No.
Is it the same country? Is it the same date?
Okay, I am sorry
no,
I offended you.
No, it's not! So, therefore, it may be a little different, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. You might be right, though. Anyway, here we go. Session start in nothing, and here we go. No, you're not. You're wrong. Anyway, let's begin the formation lap. The one red light comes on. Let's go over your starting lineup for the Chinese Grand Prix. As Ripper Rick is on pole position. I Got a Big Rig is in second position. Dilgaff in third. Fourth for Speed King 91. X Breezy in fifth. Killed the Birdman in sixth. Followed by Pecan 36 and seventh. Snipper Pig 007 is in eighth. Ninth for Dreamsy. Publix in 10th. 11th for Honos. I want to mention Shawsome did not get his 5th-place grid penalty that he was given on the game. So he's still in 12th position. Dilsack is in 13th. Cora B in 14th. Hellmaid 7 in 15th. Easy Hurricane in 16th. Drew U in 17th. The Imperial 757 in 18th. And 19th for Bossman W11. And somehow Bossman has escaped the 5th-place grid penalty because BOE Bryce is here.
I'm wondering if possibly that was what was taking so long in the pre-race lobby. Maybe Shawsome was arguing that penalty.
Well, time does go by very slowly when you spend $94 on bad games. Rounding around the final turn just about before the long DRS straight. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the United Drivers League. It's round number 4 of the Formula 1 World Championship. Ripper Rick on pole position, and he has gone a substantial gap ahead of Big Rig. And we are about to get ready for action in the United Drivers League. Jonathan, any final thoughts before we begin?
Just really impressed with Ripper Rick and I Got a Big Rig getting into the 129s.
Gosh, you are like Joe Buck on Tony Romo in the playoffs.
But
Ripper Rick is your Romo.
I am very surprised that Pecan, Snipper, and Dreamsy and Honos are all so far down the grid. Very unusual for them. So I'm wondering if this is just not their track or they had some bad luck in qualifying, but...
Well, nonetheless, here, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get ready as Ripper Rick lines up on pole position. I Got a Big Rig is in second and lines up there. There's Dilgaff in third. Fourth is Speed King 91. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights for the Chinese Grand Prix. as BOE Bryce lines up on his final grid position, 20th, as 20 drivers on the grid, 20,000 horsepower, about to get ready to get on with the 5 red lights. Will go on and then off, and we will get ready for the start of this race. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And the lights are out, and away we go as Ripper Rick on pole position gets a fantastic start off the line. And we have Dilgaff challenging in the turn 1, who's about to get taken on the inside by Speed King, but thankfully he gets ahead of Speed King as well. We have a few positions jostling already as there's a big amount of carnage in the background, but looks to be relatively okay up in front as Ripper Rick got an amazing start in this race. I got a big rig in second, Dilgaff in third, Speed King in 4th. X Breezy is in 5th position. Pecan moves up his position in 6th, and now he's got a deal. Looks to be Birdman looking to go around the outside of Snipper Pig, going side by side through the turn there. And this is going to be rather interesting if they can go side by side through here. Very slippery this corner is. Surprised maybe if some driver loses it already, and thankfully it looks to be okay. We saw some McLarens battling in the background as well. It looked to be Honos who was going side by side, and look on the inside, Shawsome on Publix, what a move, puts himself in the P10 in the points. As what a crazy lap number 1 it has been already. We've seen some amazing side-by-side action throughout.
No real bad incidents to say. Even through the first corner, there was 2 rows 3 wide.
I gotta bring it up
no
here.
contact.
Jonathan Snipper Pig and Kill the Birdman. AlphaTauri versus Red Bull drag race down the line. What an amazing! Now about to go 3 wide as Dreamsy is on the inside into the hairpin, but it is the AlphaTauri of Snipper Pig who comes off best in that 3 wide situation. And up in the P7, Snipper Pig is, however, dropped back a little bit from Pecan, as Pecan able to get a little bit of a gap as he is behind one of the, it looks to be X Breezy he's behind currently, sorry, as we've had a little bit of an issue with my onside track list of drivers, sorry. It's a little updated problem here. If we had, I saw GK Taz in the chat. I wish we had that at the moment, so I didn't have to deal with this terrible spectator view of all the drivers lined up right there, as it's still updating. But Pecan, nonetheless, is behind X Breezy. Speed King in 4th, Dilgaff in 3rd, 2nd for Big Rig, 1.3 behind him, as Ripper Rick is currently on a charge right now. Got a fantastic start off the line and is zooming for victory.
Very close racing between Dilgaff and I got a big rig, and Dilgaff gets very sideways coming out of that corner.
And he's about to have to deal with the Red Bull.
Speed King takes advantage.
Ooh, they're still side by side in Speed King, and now look at this. It looks to be X Breezy who's going to try to get ahead of him.
He's going to lose it to Pecan as well.
Side by side of Pecan and almost losing it. Yes, he does, and Pecan up to P5. What a start by Pecan. Was starting P8 up to, sorry, P7, now up to P5. An amazing start by the Haas driver.
Incredible first few laps.
There's your predicted pit stop strategy. The 1 stop for the mediums, the hards are a 2 stop soft, medium, predicted by Amazon Web Services. F1 Insights, Ripper Rick sets another fastest lap, and behind him just carnage, absolute flat out racing, as Ripper Rick really getting an amazing advantage. 2.9 seconds. So side by side is I Got a Big Rig and Speed King, who goes up to P2, but still on the inside is Big Rig, as he has the better line to go on the inside, but it's Speed King who gets the better traction. Big Rig is still there, might try to make a move on the inside, a little bit too far back though, I think, and Breezy as well, too far back, does hit the back of him though and gets better traction. He might try to make a move around the outside. Breezy really racing. Ooh, Big Rig cuts across him, as this is getting feisty already, and we're only on lap number 3. DRS has just been enabled, and let's see what happens when they finally get into that DRS range and on a DRS stage. Ooh, Breezy still tries to make a move on the inside, as Big Rig leaving the door open a little bit too much, and you know Breezy will go for it if he has the room, and he is really racing. Look at this, trying to force his way out of Big Rig, who is closing the door left and right. Breezy Woodle having much trouble trying to find a way past Big Rig, but now on this DRS straight should be rather easy for the Racing Point driver who is going to get ahead of the Haas driver. And now the Haas drivers are going to go Pecan up to P4 ahead of his teammate, and it's going to go into P3 ahead of Breezy. What a move on the inside into the hairpin. And now Breezy on the back foot in P4 has to deal with Big Rig now behind him. Snipper Pig is up to 6th on the inside of Dilgaff, on the inside in the final turn. What a move by him. Now the Ferrari of Dilgaff might be looking to make a move around the outside in the turn one. He's going to go to the far outside, and he's going to make contact with Snipper Pig, and he's still on the outside. Now it's the Alfa Romeo of Dreamsy who takes a very adventurous line off track. Now still on the inside is Dilgaff, still going side by side. No, there's contact now, and I think that's compromised Dilgaff. And oh, they're still making contact, wheel banging left and right, and now he's got better traction, trying to make a move around the outside, and he goes on the outside, and they're still banging wheels, and I think the Ferrari of Dilgaff just might get it. Yes, he does. Finally gets the better line and makes the move happen up to P6, and that is some amazing racing.
This just in the first 4 laps, this might be a candidate for race of the year if this continues.
What a race so far. I've already started to lose my voice, and that is not good when it's only lap number 4. But nonetheless, what an amazing showing. Oh, there's contact in the back, and it looked to be Korab and Shawsum who had some contact, and it looks to be Shawsum. Does he have damage on the car? No, he doesn't. He's off track. He's about to come back on. Is Easy Hurricane going to compromise? I don't think he will. Ooh, he almost lost the car, though, on the back end anyway, and that could have been disastrous for him. Shawsum is now all the way down in 16th. I got a big rig. There's a lot of moves here. Look at this. Breezy and Pecan going side by side. Pecan defensive position and is up into P3 right now. Pecan has had an amazing start to this Grand Prix. Breezy in the slipstream might be able to make a move on the inside in the turn number 1. And here we go in the turn number 1. And Breezy goes on the inside. And it's contact from the back. Pecan losing at P4 now for Pecan. But he can still make some challenges on Breezy. What a race so far. Now Dreamsy and Snipper Pig. Dreamsy and Snipper Pig side by side. He loses it though. Dreamsy down to 8th position. Now he's going to try to make a challenge back on Snipper Pig. And he might just about do it. Going to try to hang it around the outside. He's got a Haas in front of him, which is going to make this tough, but he's still going to be side by side of him. He loses it a little bit of wheel banging. We've seen a lot of that in this race from a lot of drivers. On the inside, though, is Dreamsy and ahead of Snipper Pig.
This is what you call real racing. They are so close, making slight contact, but there's nothing that can be really considered dirty here. It's just great drivers having a great race.
And on the uphill chicane, here we go. Snipper Pig in the slipstream of Dreamsy. Dreamsy in the slipstream of Big Rig, who has had a problem here on this DRS straight. As here we go, Dreamsy should get the move done on Big Rig with DRS activated. And here we go. Coming down the DRS line, he might have to make a dive on the inside to get the job done. And let's see what happens here on the inside. Gets the move, and then Big Rig tries to make a switchback, but it doesn't work. And Dreamsy up to P6, Dilgaff ahead of him in P5, and is right behind Pecan, who has had struggles to catch up with Breezy after that move in turn number 1. Will the Ferrari now try to make a move around the outside or the inside in the next couple of corners? I'd expect so. Big Rig still has the battle with Dreamsy, and in fact gets ahead of Dreamsy again. So Dreamsy again have to redo all that he did on the last lap. And oh, there's a big bunch of contact. Here comes Dreamsy looking to make a move on the inside, but ultimately not able to do so. And now I Got a Big Rig is all over the track right now. What a race right now. We got a Red Bull and a McLaren that's killed a Birdman going on the inside of Honos up in the P10. So he's into the points. Honos still battling though for that final point scoring position. Only lap number 6 here, ladies and gentlemen.
Really good on these drivers, though. As much contact is happening, nobody is really forcing an issue, which is really nice to see, because it could easily happen with how much contact's really happening.
And still riding on board with Dilgaff, who was in the slipstream. Pecan losing the back end a little bit right there. That might hurt Pecan. He loses it again, and Pecan spins round, and that amazing start goes to terribleness. He thankfully keeps it out of the wall, but Pecan, is he reversing on track? That could have been a disaster. I thought he was reversing there for a second. And look at this. Honos is about to go on the inside of the Red Bull driver. They make contact with the wheels a little bit. A big dive on the inside. He's going to hit the back of the AlphaTauri, who almost gets spun around by that. Thankfully, Honos is able to keep it slow enough that Public doesn't get too affected by that, and is
no
going
damage.
to no damage for him as well. So that is nice to see. X breezing into the pits.
Wow, what an incredible first stint, really. Wow.
Forget DRS trains. This has been a battle train as Snipper Pig hits the back of Big Rig. And let's see if he can try to make a move. Big Rig is all over the track right now. Snipper Pig's got some major slipstream. He's going to make a move, dive on the inside, and is going to just about make the move happen. Yes, he will. Big Rig not able to defend that. And he is down into P6. Now he's got Public, so it's an AlphaTauri sandwich right now for Big Rig in the Haas, and he is under pressure right now. Publix is got some serious pace right now and looks to get ahead of Big Rig sooner rather than later. Big Rig is struggling under braking, struggling in some of these turns, and Big Rig is in a lot of trouble right now. Might have to make a pit stop soon, diving on the inside, and he is going to just make the move. Publix, ooh, they're making contact, and I think that's getting a little bit testy here now. And look at that, kill the Birdman with an amazing dive, and he gets the move on Big Rig, who's lost 2 positions in a couple of corners, and now he's got to deal with Honos, who's in a drag race with him right now, and Honos might have to make a move on the inside. We're going to have to wait and see. No, Big Rig now switching to the outside lane, trying to make a move around the outside of the Red Bull driver. Not able to make it happen. That switchback isn't going to work either. Ooh, but he does make a little bit of contact with the Red Bull, unsettles it a little bit, but ultimately not too serious. Ripper Rick has gone into the pit, so has Speed King 91, and Dilgaff has taken the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. Dreamsy in second, Snipper Pig in third, 4 for Publix, Kill the Birdman in fifth, and 6 for I Got a Big Rig.
These drivers are not letting anybody out of their sight. The only person that's really gotten away is Ripper Rick after that amazing start, but anybody else, they haven't got a chance to.
It's been absolutely insane. But nonetheless, there is Honos currently in the slipstream of Big Rig, trying to get ahead of the Haas driver, who looks to be struggling on those soft tires, which I do believe are reaching the end of their life cycle. You can see the line starting to form on those soft tires, so they're definitely losing grip rather quickly. Big Rig would probably do well to pit rather soon. Here comes Honos. Is he just going to make a dive on the inside? No, he's not that greedy. Korab, Honos' teammate, right behind him, so the McLarens are running line of stern. Here we go, a move on the inside by Honos. Not a usual overtaking zone. He's not even going to wait. They make contact side by side, wheel banging, and they're still in a drag race right now. And finally, Big Rig has to give up the position, and that was a serious amount of contact in such a high-speed corner, and yet somehow still they're A-okay. But a big dive by Korab on the inside of Big Rig, and now he forces Big Rig off track a little bit right there. And coming into the final turn, Korab is going to take that position. Dilgaff is into the pits. Dreamsy is going to take the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix now.
Korab didn't really seem like he wanted to give Big Rig that much room after what happened in qualifying.
So a little bit of sore feeling so far. Ooh, an easy hurricane. I was looking right there. He almost lost the back end and spun the car around on that hard compound tire. A optimal tire to be on, considering the stress that the tires do in fact go under on this track. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm not too sure who that's for, but it is gone rather quickly. As there is Dreamsy 4/10 clear of Snipper Pig, and that's really not a clear situation. That's a very muddy situation for Dreamsy, who's got a rapid AlphaTauri of Snipper Pig behind him. So this is going to get rather interesting soon, as they're about to come onto this DRS straight. We'll have to wait and see if Snipper Pig can make a move on Dreamsy. We should get interesting here, as here they come around that turn. 0.5 of a second separating the two drivers. Will he put in an overtake? We'll have to wait and see, but he's going to have some DRS, so it's going to get very fast, very quickly. DRS flap opens, and a little bit too far back, actually dropped down to 0.7 of a second, and he is not going to make a move on this occasion. We'll have to wait.
It'll be interesting to see what the lifespan of the mediums are going to be, and where everybody's going to come out. With Ripper Rick having that early pit stop.
Bossman, let's buy Ripper Rick. That was interesting. It looked like an on purpose move, to let by the leader.
Maybe he just didn't want to fight it, but I don't understand why you would do that.
Nonetheless, Ripperick now is all over Drew Yu in the Williams and looks to get ahead of him rather soon on those new hard tires, which should take Ripperick until the end of the Grand Prix. As here we go, is he going to try to make a move on the inside? And he looks at it, and he's still there. Drew Yu, you can't really blame Drew Yu too much for that. Really not an overtaking opportunity for Ripperick. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to make it happen.
Just a little close for... an overtake there.
Snipper Pig still getting close to Dreamsy, now a little bit closer than last lap. Let's hope he can keep within that 0.5 of a second. No, drops back again to 0.7 of a second. That's going to disallow a possibility of an overtake, and it's that same corner where he lost the time. There's a move down the end of the field. This is Hellmate and BOE Bryce. Hellmate has made the move up to P17. Look at this, Ripper Rick. Look how close he is. A drag race with Drew Yu down the DRS straight, and we saw it happening eventually, and now it's about to happen. He's just going to go on the inside, and Drew Yu will try to hang it around the outside, but ultimately not able to keep it there, and Ripper Rick up to P8 on the charge back to get his first place back in this race.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's going to be really interesting to see where everybody comes out once these medium drivers hit.
Going to be very, very interesting to say the least. Easy Hurricane is going down the hill, 1.8 seconds back. Publix has caught up to Snipper Pig, who has yet to make the move on Dreamsy. Now, this is going to be interesting. Double trouble for Dreamsy with the AlphaTauris, but it's almost double trouble for the AlphaTauris themselves. Who is going to challenge for this possible lead of the race? Who is the faster driver right now? Both of them are on the same strategy. They both got worn medium tires, but Snipper Pig has not been able to make an overtake on Dreamsy yet. Now, I don't know how closely these teammates are working together or not, but I don't know if one of them is going to try to make a challenge instead of the other one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ooh, Breezy,
really
Breezy makes a move on look to be Bossman W11. So Bossman is and he has a spin.
Bossman.
Ooh, that was very, very close. Very, very close. And he spins
again.
So Bossman having major troubles right now. Is going to come back on track. Here comes Kill the Birdman and should just get ahead of him. Yes, he does. Now I got a big rig. Is about to get ahead of Boss. Oh, not about. Bossman does get back up to racing speed. But P14 now as Dreamsy is into the pits. So the AlphaTauris have taken the lead of this race, but they are on very worn medium tires. They should be reaching the end of their lifespan rather soon. And I'm assuming they're going to go for hard tires till the end of the race.
Yeah, I don't think they could really... I wouldn't see a double soft strategy here.
No, so I think that would be a disastrous thing. I don't think anybody's going to be doing that one unless you're a little bit further down the pack. But nonetheless, riding on board of Honos, who is 3.7 seconds back, so he's a little bit further than I think he'd like to be, as he's on medium tires as well, and will have to make a pit stop relatively same time as the two AlphaTauris as well has. Korab is also on old medium, so we'll have to pit relatively soon as well. Easy Hurricane might be in the running here right now to take the lead of this race, because on those hard tires, that is a optimal tire, I think, to be starting on right now and could be going very long into this race. Dilsack is on mediums, and Ripper Rick is on hards. Again, we told him this is probably going to be a one-stop, should be able to go till the end, will get tough near the end, but should be able to go till the end.
Yeah,
And into the pits is Snipper Pig. So now it's going to be Honos taking P... Nope. Honos goes into pits. Korab does not. So Korab will take P2 in this race. Public stays in first position.
Yep, and we got the notification for the medium strategy is pit window is open. So
I have not yet gotten mine, but nonetheless, Publix, I'm assuming, will pit after this lap. As Snipper Pig is pitted now, I don't believe they wanted to have to do a double stack, to say the least. So Korab is in second position, a pretty good race for him so far. Ripper Rick is in P4 and should take the lead of the race eventually, as the other drivers ahead of him still have to make pit stops. Easy Hurricane started on the hard, so he'll have to make a pit stop soon. Korab is on the mediums, and so is Publix. So they'll be making pit stops, and I think Publix might do it this lap.
Public's got a pretty decent lead on Korab there.
6.9 seconds. Now 7 seconds, actually. So we'll go down a little bit, obviously, as I'm assuming Publix will pit now. It would only make sense, in my opinion, based on
Korab
the Delta time.
Might actually
Ooh,
pit as
Hurricane's
well.
out! Virtual safety car! And he crashed. It's not a full safety car.
Oh yeah, right out of that final corner before the back DRS straight.
So Easy Hurricane is out of the race. That's going to help Ripper Rick a lot. Now he's only got to deal with the medium tire guys who are going to pit. I'm assuming, yep, both Publix and Cora pit. Ripper Rick does not, as I don't think he would want to. Snipper Pig gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC. Oh, no.
Oh, not what he wanted in the middle of this race.
Speed King is going to come out in third. X Breezy back in second. Ripper Rick is in first again. And that VSC was very, very short, and Snipper Pig was speeding at the end of it, and unfortunately, he's going to have to serve a drive-through penalty. He's going to have to go within 3 laps.
Very good news for Ripper Rick, though.
So Snipper Pig has to serve that penalty within 3 laps or face a 20-second penalty to be added on till the end of your race time. I don't believe they do the disqualification like they normally would in real life. If you don't serve the drive-through within 3 laps, you get disqualified.
Yeah, if I were him, I may actually serve it pretty soon, though.
You don't want to get a 20-second penalty. That's not going to help your cause at all. So I think serving it now would be a best option as well. And there is Snipper Pig behind the Ferrari of Dilgaff. Will definitely be gutted because he's going to drop outside of the top 10, and it's going to be a very, very tough hill to climb in this race.
Yeah, very disappointing situation for Snipper Pig right now.
Lap number 15, and Ripper Rick leads it, and X Breezy into the pits. So, was he on old mediums? He was, so he does make his first pit stop, it looks like.
Publix and Dreamsy in a little bit of a battle here.
The race is definitely slowed down a little bit, not super quick like it was before, and
no.
Very, very good action, though, between Dreamsy and Publix. And all the drivers, really, everybody almost has had a battle of some kind. Snipper Pig is finally, he did serve his pit stop, his drive-through penalty. He's down in P14, behind Pecan. Pecan has not had a great race now after that spin, down in 13th position. What was looking like to be a very exciting race for him has just turned up to absolute mush, quite honestly.
Yeah, a very disappointing result for Pecan. It was the beginning of this race, he had moved up so many positions, and then it just one mistake can ruin your momentum.
And it has ruined Pecans for sure. Snipper Pig behind him might be able to even make an overtake rather soon. Dreamsy in P4 looking to get ahead of Publix very quickly, as about 7/10 seconds separating the two drivers. Everybody else separated, except for Snipper Pig, separated by seconds. Lap 16 of 28 as we're through the halfway point of this Chinese Grand Prix. One VSC, which cost all of about maybe 30 seconds in this race, so we've just been chugging along in this race. And Dreamsy looking to try to make a move at some point. And still behind Publix, though, as you saw those opening lap battles, they're starting to decrease a little bit. Drivers getting a little bit more patient with their situations, and Dreamsy being one of those drivers right now.
Yeah, it took a lot longer to get to that stage in the race than normal, though. That beginning race battle lasted very long.
Well, nonetheless, you want to have some fun, so I think they went along with it, and it was an absolute show for the stream to watch. As we are not really too much to talk about. Snipper Pig is about to, though, get ahead of Pecan in 14th position, about to move up to P13.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if this closes up towards the end of this race. If we get some more of those battles towards the end, but
ooh,
right now
Pecan almost lost the back end again. And here we go. Snipper Pig is all over Pecan right now. Almost lost the back end again coming out of that final turn. Runs up on a lot of curb, and here comes Snipper Pig. DRS will be activated in overtake mode. Lots of battery to play with, and Pecan can do nothing. Sitting duck right now on the inside into the hairpin. Actually still hanging it around the outside, but a move made by Snipper Pig up in the P13.
Yeah, Snipper Pig's really got to start making those moves to get back into the points.
Pecan. Pecan takes a very adventurous line off track. I don't know about that one, ladies and gentlemen. He kind of passed him off track right there. Jonathan, what's the reaction to that one there from Pecan?
It's definitely borderline, at least.
I don't know, borderline. That was a pretty flagrant. I went off track and overtook you. Pecan right there, really extending track limits. A little bit of IndyCar action going on right now.
Trying to be nice there, but yeah, it was definitely.
And he's keeping the position. I don't know if I was Snipper Pig, I'd be a little upset right now, and I'd probably make a little bit of a bullish move into one of these turns. Nonetheless, though, Pecan and P13 took it back after, let's just say, an adventure into Wonderland off track, and did make the move back on Snipper Pig. And Pecan looking to get close to Dillsack to try to get some slipstream and some possible DRS. 0.3 of a second of separating the two drivers. Pecan is under pressure right now, and it looks like he's actually struggling for pace rather much so. And on the DRS straight, overtake is activated. Does he make a move on the inside on Pecan? Yes, he does. A big dive bomb. Might be able to make a switchback as Pecan does in fact do so. Gets better traction. Here comes Snipper Pig on the final turn. Pecan is again on the off second. Ooh, man, Snipper Pig almost had his race go up in smoke right there. That was a serious snap from the rear, and he thankfully controlled it. A good save by him, but Snipper Pig almost went right into a wall.
Very risky. Pecan did extend a little bit.
Again,
well,
that's the second time now. So definitely going to be, ooh, look at this. Oh, no, there's an issue here. Bossman's out of the race, and Publix has been spun around. Virtual, again, another VSC. So Bossman is out of the race. Not too sure what happened there, but Publix has been spun around. Not too sure what happened.
Almost stopped there. I'm looking at Bryce to see if I can see the incident. It looks like Bossman spun coming out of the final corner.
That's
and went straight into the
looks like
wall.
where Antonio Giovinazzi and Albon have crashed in the past. But a VSC only, so we don't go under full yellow flag racing conditions under a safety car. So unfortunately for a lot of drivers, this isn't going to help them very too much. So
Yeah, no,
kill the Birdman, drive-through penalty. Oh dear, no. And that's going to put him out of the top 10, out of the points. Breezy's retired. Breezy's out of the race. He's had a crash in Sector 3.
Into the pit lane.
So Breezy's pulled a Lewis Hamilton and he's out of this race. I can't imagine what he's thinking in his mind right now. I can't imagine the anger.
What just happened?
No safety car, no nothing. Just a yellow flag. Pecan, we got to talk about it. He's still under pressure right now from Snipper Pig. All over the back is Snipper Pig on Pecan. But Breezy is out of this Chinese Grand Prix. Lap 19 of 28. We're in 10 laps to go in this race. Jonathan, you're speechless.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what's going through Breezy's mind. Like, you know, the other DNFs we've had so far in this race have been, you know, high-speed crashes, but to crash into the pit lane is just gut-wrenching.
I wish there was a live stream of Breezy. I could actually see what happened there. I could only imagine Does Breezy live stream his races? Do you know or no?
I do not know.
Well, I'm going to have to look that up, because if I can find that, I'd like to see what happened there, because that is interesting, as Honos slams the brakes and into the pit lane. As Kill the Birdman did serve his drive-through and is down in P14 now. And Honos has made a pit stop. Let's see what tire he's put on, and it's the hard compound tire. It doesn't make too much sense at the end of the race. I think you'd want to go on something else. Pecan gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's cut another part of the track and now has finally been overtaken again by Snipper Pig. And thankfully, I hope this time Pecan isn't going to take another adventurous line into the wonderland of track limits.
Yeah, I think that penalty will definitely let him know he needs to cool off a little bit. And it was in the same spot too in the final corner.
So it's a few times these extended track limits, but I definitely think that overtake off track is going to be investigated after the race, because that was just a little bit flagrant in my opinion from Pecan. A driver not normally in incidents like that, but unfortunately that was a little bit obvious.
Yeah, I would agree.
Or at least a warning. I know it hasn't affected the race too much, but at least some sort of warning. You know, if you're going to do that again, we're going to have to penalize you for it.
Yeah, definitely not what we want to see, and it doesn't set a great example for the future, so...
Dreamsy, P3, behind Speed King. This is the battle for second position, and Dreamsy has got some major slipstream on Speed King. Might be able to make a move on the inside in the turn one. He's going to make a big dive, and no. Speed King is going to keep the position, just covering off that inside attack from Dreamsy. And the battle for P2 is on, as Ripper Rick is a full 10 seconds ahead of Speed King. And we haven't had to talk about Ripper Rick too much, because he's pretty much been perfection in this race.
Yeah, this really has just been Ripper Rick's race. I know I predicted him in the beginning, but I really didn't think it would be this dominant.
Oh, another, that is Hellmate out of the race. And he had a crash, it looks like, another virtual safety car.
And it's another one in the pit lane.
So did Hellmate retire in the pit lane, or did he crash? No, he crashed. What is going on with these pit lane crashes? Kill the Birdman. That's another speeding drive-through penalty, speeding under VSC. That's the second one this race.
What is happening?
I cannot believe The penalties are to be given out right now. But that's the third VSC, and that's the second crash in the pit lane.
I'm just speechless.
Kill the Birdman has another drive-through penalty. What just happened here? I just saw another drive-through penalty. Is that 2 drive-through penalties for Kill the Birdman?
In 1 VSC.
That is insane. Ripper Rick is into the pit. Well, Ripper Rick pitted. That makes no sense. Tell me what sense that actually makes. Because let's look at these tires. There's Speed King's not pitting. Dreamsy's not pitting. Did Ripper Rick just... I think Ripper Rick just blew this race.
I don't know what just...
It's lap 22 of 28, and there is no reason for me to believe that anybody ahead of Ripper Rick is going to be making another pit stop at the end of this race.
I don't even know what to say.
I mean, we're literally talking about a dominant performance. You're not going to lose any time under VSC. Ripper Rick will make up some positions, but I think Ripper Rick right here just blew this race. There is no reason, in my opinion, for him to make that pit stop unless he didn't think he can make it to the end on the hard tires. But it looked like he was having a fine time of it. Didn't seem like he was losing any pace. So he must know something we don't know.
Well.
But he makes a move on Cora, and now he's going to go up to 5th position. But he's got to make up, let's see, 5 seconds on Publix, then 2 seconds on Dilgaff, unless Publix makes up that time. Another second on Dream. I think this race has been blown for Ripper Rick.
What? And he's in the pit again.
What has happened? What's going on? What is going on? Ripper Rick is back into the pit lane. Is this a drive-through that I was not told about?
I'm gonna check.
It is. I think that... No, it is a drive-through penalty. Ripper Rick has just served a drive-through penalty, and he is down in 9th position. And what is going on in this Chinese Grand Prix? Ripper Rick has just served a drive-through penalty, I'm assuming for speeding, and we've got a battle ahead of us as Big Rig and Snipper Pig are going side by side. Snipper Pig on the outside, now going to have the inside line coming into this turn. There we go, back into racing conditions. On the grass was Snipper Pig and gets ahead of Big Rig, but Ripper Rick has gone a drive-through penalty. I didn't even see it get applied in the spectator mode. Either. But Ripper Rick must be absolutely livid. This race has been stolen from him, essentially.
I didn't even see it come up.
And Dreamsy is now battling with Speed King. This is the lead for the race right now. We're seeing as Dilgaff is in the battle too. What scenes in this Chinese Grand Prix? Kill the Birdman in almost last. BOE Bryce somehow is still kept it in last place. Kill the Birdman does have... Has he served all of his drive-thrus? Do you know?
I don't believe so.
And Ripper Rick has gone ahead of Big Rig, so 9th and 10th right now for the Hodge driver, so they're both going to score points. But I think Pecan wants to get ahead of Big Rig again and get a little more points on the board here. But I just can't believe what has happened in this Chinese Grand Prix. So many drive-through penalties. I didn't even see on here Ripper Rick getting a drive-through penalty, but nonetheless he has, and he's down in P8. And the man who was having an absolute standout performance is now in 8th place, scrapping for little points in this race.
Yeah, on lap 9, Ripper Rick speeding under BSC drive-through. Along with Honos and Breezy.
So, has Honos served the drive-through? I didn't even see that.
I don't know. In that first VSC, it was Breezy, Honos, Ripper Rick, Helmade, and Kill the Birdman. All drive-through penalties.
But that doesn't make any sense because you're supposed to serve it within 3 laps, and if you don't, you get 20 seconds.
Yeah, those were on lap 18 and 19. And
so that wasn't the first one. That wasn't the first one.
Yeah,
that was
not the first one.
Okay. I was about to say, because they would have had 20-second penalties.
Breezy and Snipper Pig. Holy shit. Sorry.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. $94 Project Cars 3 Deluxe Edition just swore on stream.
I do apologize. There was a massive spider on my bed.
I wish that spider killed you for doing that on stream.
I do apologize.
And Ripper Rick goes fastest on track, 133.6, and he looks to make an outside move on Snipper Pig, and he's still trying to make that move on Snipper Pig. Doesn't make it happen though. Jonathan can't control himself. He almost died of a spider.
Live moments. I do apologize to everyone.
Only in the United Drivers League, as we have seen. I have not seen a crazier race like this. We gotta stop paying attention to Ripper Rick for a second here, because really the battle for the lead of the race right now, Dilgaff, Speed King, Dreamzy. Look at the gap between all of them within a second, and this is going to go down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it will, and it's going to be a great race for in the end here.
As Dreamsy's trying to break Slipstream. Speed King's going to break Slipstream of Dilgaff. And here we go. Dreamzy breaking into the chicane. No moves from anybody. Dreamzy keeps the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. There's Speed King in second. Dilgaff in third. I know there's some 3-second time penalties that need to be served, so I'll have to wait and see how the grid order lines up after all this one. But nonetheless, the big story here, Ripper Rick, as here we go, a Muxapia move on the outside. He's going to do it. I thought he was too far back, but he's going to make a big dive around the outside. Now has the inside line. What scenes here on the final few laps? 3 laps to go. He's been spun into the wall, and that is it for Dilgaff for the lead of this race. And Dilgaff into the wall with major front wing damage. Oh, almost had a McLaren who just came back on track whizzing, and that is some serious front wing damage. That's an end plate gone on the car. The front tires must be cooked, and that is it for Dilgaff. And now Speed King, who was in that contact, now drops back 1.3 seconds, and that is going to help Dreamzy a lot secure a Chinese Grand Prix victory.
Yeah,
look at this. Still, Snipper Pig and Ripper Rick are having a battle, and Snipper Pig gets ahead of Ripper Rick.
Not how we thought this race was going to go, but good driving overall.
But look at this. So BOE Bryce is in 16th, and Snipper Pig looks to be getting held up a little bit. And this is played right into the hands of Ripper Rick, who did not get held up at all. And ooh, there was a tiny bit of contact, but Snipper Pig ultimately still all right. Ripper Rick now coming around. He's in P8, looks to get P7 back from Snipper Pig now after the drive-through catastrophes that have cost him a race victory here. Kill the Birdman has gone fastest, a 132.6. Fastest lap on track. That's going to be an extra point for him if he can keep it towards the end. We're on the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. Dilgaff is into the pits. And he's going to go for the soft tires and a wing change, and should try to get fastest lap of the race. Ripper Rick looking for an outside dive, not able to make it happen. Hits the back of Snipper Pig.
All right, I am back.
What did you do
with that spider situation?
You still were dealing with the spider? How big was this thing?
It was pretty large.
Oh my goodness! Probably because you ordered food and you left it there on the. This is all
downstairs.
Goes back to the food. Jonathan, you can't get anything right. First, you ordered food 20 minutes ahead of a race. You bought a $94 trash video game. I mean, what can you? Alfred Turry? What more can you do wrong?
Sorry. I do apologize to everyone I
Look at this.
Today.
Dilgaff has gone ahead of Drew you. There's some drivers who are doing some actually good things on track right now. Don't forget Jonathan right now. He's making some mistakes right now. But I Got a Big Rig has gone ahead of looks to be BOE Bryce, who's getting lapped right now. Pecan's now got to get ahead of him, and he is losing that car all over the place, really struggling in that hard compound tire. And Ripper Rick here in the slipstream might make a big dive on the outside, and he is going to make that dive. Snipper Pig's going to leave him as much room as he can. Gets better traction, though, and gets ahead of him. And Dreamsy is going to about win this race. As you can see him on the final lap, 2 seconds ahead. Dilsack and Shawsome are having a battle right now, and they're going... Oh, it was a bit of a battle right now as Shawsome's had an issue, and he is down in 13th. Dilsack is up a lot of seconds. I have no idea what happened. Shawsome! Did he not brake? What happened?
I don't know.
He just lost the car there. That was... Shawsome, what is going on? I'm about to ride on board. Shawsome has a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits, and... that is an on-purpose crash. That is an on-purpose crash. Shawsome is on-purpose crash. I'm assuming that's a penalty.
I could not tell you.
But he is crashed in front of the pit lane. The car does despawn. That could have brought out a VSC, though, so that could have affected things in this race. So I'm going to assume that would be a penalty of some sort. We caught it all on stream, though, so... Shawsome, sorry if you wanted to get away with it, but you didn't. I caught it all on stream, my guy. Dreamsy is going to, however, win the Chinese Grand Prix. Can you believe what you have just seen?
Oh, and Speed King right into the wall.
Speed King is on track, still on the wall. A McLaren comes across the line to finish P4. Honos comes across and is going to finish P5. I am out of breath. I cannot believe what I've just seen. That was amazing. And look at the gap with the penalty for Snipper Pig. 100th of a second. Ripper Rick finishes in P7. I can't imagine the feelings that are going through his mind.
I couldn't either.
Dilgaff gets the fastest lap of 131.7. Fastest lap at the end.
The win was just right in Ripper Rick's hands and then taken away all in an instant.
But Dreamsy in the Alfa Romeo has won the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm out of...
Dreamsy had great consistency throughout the race. He does deserve that win, but
you just feel for Ripper Rick right now.
Yeah, not what we expected.
No. But ladies and gentlemen, that was an amazing race right there, and there you go. Ripper Rick's left the session, and I can't imagine the frustration that he's feeling right now. And a few other drivers who have crashed in the pit lane. Just major disappointment.
I don't even know what to say.
Well, anyway, there it is. Dreamsy wins the Chinese Grand Prix. A well-deserved race victory with all of the drama that has happened. A few VSCs, a few crashes in the pit lane. Some amazing on-track battles. That was a Chinese Grand Prix to behold. And big props to Dreamsy, who wins the Grand Prix. And on the podium with him is Speed King and Publix, finishing P3. P4 for Korab, 5th for Hono, Snipper Pig in 6th, 7th for Ripper Rig. It's 8th for Big Rig, 9th for Pecan, 36th, 10th for Dilgaff in 11th is Drew U24, Dilsack in 12th, 13th for the Imperial, 14th for Kill the Birdman, 15th in BOE Bryce, 16th for Shawsome, 17th for Hellmaid, 18th for Breezy, and 19th is Bossman. Hurricane is in 20th. These are all DNFs. Except for Shawsome. Shawsome actually got classified in 16th, but he did crash, and the wheel did not stay on the car. That is how hard he crashed into the pit lane. The wheel tethers did not help that tire stay on the car. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a Chinese Grand Prix. My name was ISRLX, and I was joined by Jonathan. Great to have you in the commentary booth. I'll try next week not to completely murder your self-confidence on stream.
It's great to be here.
It's great. It's great. The feeling's mutual. Nonetheless, here, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching United Drivers League action, and we will see you next week. Great to have you. Good night.
Good night.